All right, let's take a look at the market. Welcome to the show. These are S&P 500 futures, excuse me. We're going to look at the weekly, the daily, and the trade of the day. So here on the weekly chart, big old candlestick, 134 range, but you can see it just still hasn't gotten above this 45, 44. So this whole week, it's been acting as resistance, which has made the SMI just kind of stall and sit here. Of course, we'll see. This is just weekly, so this will change going into next Monday. Today is Thursday. And yeah, I added in the Big Daddy down here, which right now isn't that elevated, sitting at 329. You can see in the past it's gotten much higher. So there's more room here on the weekly to go. November 26th is the cycle low there. January 14th there. I think these are still good, particularly the blue one. I think January 14th is going to be a little more reliable than this 26th. Okay, let's look at the trade of the day. Let's look at the daily first. So here on the daily, yeah, that's this green candlestick right here. I mean, you can see it like hardly any range. Last 2 or 3 days. See, yesterday was a range of 30. Today was a range of 28, we'll call it. So just got this little, I could see it chucking sideways here for a while. Here on the daily, the Big Daddy's showing some divergence. That's what those 3 little dots are. So for those who don't know what divergence means, it basically means that this indicator is forecasting that the market's going to go down while the actual price action is still slightly going up. Okay, that's a divergence. Doesn't always mean the market's going to follow, but often it does. So it's just a little kind of warning sign that we could be getting into a time where the market's kind of run out of gas a little bit. Could happen. But as strong as this market is, this could just be a stall that's happening as we're approaching kind of the middle of this cycle. In the middle of this cycle, and November 15th was, let's see, yesterday, I believe. So, which would be right there. Would make sense to see a little price stall there for a little bit. So this could just stall and then bounce again above 45.66 is really what I'm saying. Okay, so we have to wait to see, does this stall translate into it dropping down into the middle of this cycle? This one too, kind of the middle one right there. Is it going to start dropping down into here? Get one more bounce out here. Good strong bounce before it comes down. Maybe even way up there and down. So those are the things we got to keep an eye on, right? Obviously, the Get Us Plus indicator just yesterday or 2 days ago. I think it was 2 days ago. It was just yesterday. This little yellow triangle just showed up. Okay. So that happened over here. Of course, it was different circumstances. This was on the way down. Market was going down when that happened. Okay. So we'll see. That this could also be signaling we could run out of gas, like I said. But here on the MACD, only 49 approximately, kind of low. Still room to go here. Typically, you could see more momentum before this runs dry. But since it came from so far down, it could, it may not get up to 70 or 80 like it normally does, or even 90. It might run out of gas at like 60, 65, something like that, instead of getting way up here, right? Which that would be like, you start pulling this down. This thing starts getting way up there, up around 100. Okay, so it's going to be a question of whether or not short term it runs out of gas, or does momentum still win the day, so to speak, and it keeps going all the way up to into the 70s, 80s in that area. Right now, like I said, got divergence on the daily. Not surprising to see the market stall. We're just waiting to see, does it stall and decline down into the center of these, like I said, or does it bounce and take off and go above the 45.66? Okay, let's look at the trade of the day. Okay, it was a really choppy day. Just look at this mess. Not really choppy, but fairly choppy. Fairly choppy through most of the day, from look at this, 6 a.m.-ish all the way over to about 1 o'clock. Like I say, the worst chop I've ever seen, but it's kind of choppy here. And like I said, today's range I think was only 27, so it's a small day, not an easy day to trade. You can see quite a few Giddus Plus indicators. So even the Giddus Plus indicators, like, you know, going on and off, right? When you begin to see this, that means the market's doing what? Just tracking sideways. That's all it's doing, tracking sideways, which is pretty much what we're seeing here. But there were some opportunities if you were really patient, and the one that really stands out. Well, this one isn't too bad for a short side, and this one's pretty good for a long side. There was a really good one on the 5-minute chart too, but this one right here was pretty solid. You can see that the SMI was down here, began to roll up. Again, though, you know, personally for me, I didn't trade this, and the reason why is because you can see that MACD is way below the zero line here. And that's typical of chop. Like the market's, you know, difficult to predict which way the market's going to go within the intraday session when you got this kind of mixed signal going on. Short-term or fast-moving indicators saying, yep, we're going up, but the MACD's in negative territory. I don't like trading that. That's not good. Now, the one back here, which was 9 a.m. Texas time, that was more reliable. Starts to roll over. Let me clear the screen here. Talk about this one right here. Starts to roll over pretty good, and the MACD in that area is above the zero. Not by a lot, but it is above the zero line right there, and that's nice. That's more reliable. They're both working their way from top to bottom, okay? So you want to try to stick with those kind of trades where both the SMI and the MACD on this, by the way, this streaming chart, so the members get to see this chart, this 15-minute chart when it streams. If they don't have their own charts or whatever, they can look at the streaming chart. So of these two, this is the one I would have traded. It was pretty busy today, and I didn't like the chop, so I didn't trade anything. But that's the one you would trade. That's the trade of the day on the 15-minute chart. Now let's look at the 5-minute chart. Okay, so here on the 5-minute chart, much more reliable. It just so happens to on the 5-minute chart. There's actually, in my opinion, two of them that are really good. The first one here is right at 10 a.m. So this one happens here. You can see the SMI is really flat, right? It's way down in here. It's below the zero, it's called the negative 40 line here, but it's in negative territory. Right, the MACD is also moving negative. It's got a pretty good gap going on between the two lines, and it's below the zero line. That's a really good scenario. You want to wait. When this SMI is this low and the MACD is running that far below zero, just relax, wait a little bit. And about what, half an hour, 40 minutes later, it made good, and boom. That's when you take the trade right there. MACD crosses over a little bit later. Again, both moving in the same direction. And yeah, this is negative, but it's crossing over. And that's why I think that's a good trade, okay? And there you go. This is pretty good bank for such a small day. About 5, 10, almost 15 points total in a little shooting star here. So I would say probably anywhere from 10 to 12 points, pretty reliable in this area. You're not going to catch all this, but you're going to catch the meat of it. And then the other one I thought was really solid was this one right here. This happened at kind of, you know, not super late, but it was 1 p.m. my time, 2 p.m. East Coast time, New York time. And that indicator right there was pretty good on the Giddus Plus indication. Turned out really nice. This was already pretty solid, and the reason why I say that is because you can see, but at the time this indication came, it was already above the zero line. See it here? It's above this red line. And the MACD was kind of riding right on it, so, you know, that's not exactly ideal, but I'd take a nibble on this trade for sure. Like I said, I didn't trade today because it was choppy, but if I had traded, I would have nibbled on this with maybe even some just micro contracts instead of a mini, and just chill and see what it does. It made good. Boom, boom, boom. Again, this one's not quite as much, maybe 10 points total. I'd say you catch 5, 6, 7 of it. All right. And you had a continuation right here. The MACD went very positive in this whole area, and at the end of the day, it was just monster mash. So whether or not you just took this 7 to 8 points here and then that was it for the day, or you re-entered after you got through this big red candlestick, got another indication right there, I'd wait for it to dip, starts to go again, MACD's in positive territory, take the trade, boom. Nice, really nice. So, really all these three, 1, 2, 3, really good. This one, not so much. It's not that you couldn't make money there. It's just, kind of an in and out trade. You might make a few points. Which was, not a bad trade right there, but these three are the ones that really stood out to me. All right, if you like everything you saw in this video and you want to become a member, there's a link in the description right below this video. Just make sure you read it very carefully. Click on the link. It's going to bring you over to Get a Server. Once you come here, you're going to click on Server Shop. You're going to bring you to this page right here, $7.99 a month, guys and gals. That is a really good value. Okay, you saw the cycles I do on the daily chart, the cycle analysis. That goes out every night in email. That chart, by the way, that daily chart goes every night out to all the members in the email as an attachment, and I usually give a sentence or a paragraph of my opinion about what I think the market's going to do. Also, you get streaming charts down here at the bottom on the Discord server. So when you join, you click on the streaming charts down here. You get the 5-minute, the 15-minute, and the 1-hour chart, all with the Get Us Plus indicator. So whenever you see me in these videos doing the trade of the day using that Get Us Plus indicator, you're going to get that indicator in the streaming charts. Really nice. Even on today, which was a super choppy day with only 27 points, there was still some pretty good Get Us Plus indicators that, you had to be patient, but you still could make some money today. And on the 1-hour chart, even though lately that the cycles have been pretty tough because this market's so choppy, but I also put cycles on the 1-hour chart, which once this market decides which way it's going to go, I'll read you all the hourly cycles just for the members as you're watching this video. Because right now I realize those cycles are a little bit maybe not as reliable, just because the market's tracking sideways is almost impossible at the moment to get a good cycle on the hourly chart. But the last 6 weeks have been phenomenal on the hourly chart. All right. And when the Get Us Plus does indicate a possible trade, it also sends an alert to this channel right here, the S&P 500 alerts. So if you got your mobile phone and you have the Discord app on the phone, you can get alerted that way. So if it's on your laptop, your desktop, whatever you're doing, you can get alerted. Okay. So the streaming charts and this S&P 500 streaming charts work with the alert channel. So that's super nice. Okay. In addition to that, there's alerts that go for gold. There's alerts that go for crude oil. There's alerts that go for the top 30 stocks of the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. All right. Premium symbols at the end of each day. That same Get Us Plus algorithm goes out and gets symbols for optionable stocks, future symbols, industries, and even shorts. If it thinks there's any shortable stocks that look like they're, or symbols period that are shortable, it'll pick those up too. So it can be anywhere from 2 to 4 files inside this channel. So really worth a look. I use it and look at the futures quite a bit because I trade quite a bit of futures. Okay. Currency, sometimes I trade that, so you'll see some things in there. Fixed income too, some corporate bonds or CD rates will be in there. Okay, and I talked about the nightly emails. So make sure if you're going to join or you're already a member, make sure you drop your email into this emails only channel. I'll pick it up. You'll get the nightly email. Okay, so everything on here, all this, the streaming charts at the bottom and everything else you see here, all of this is members only channels. Okay, $7.99. This is the only one that's open to the public, and there's really nothing in there. It's more like a hello channel. All right. If you're looking for any kind of support or anything, just make sure you put it in the member chat. Okay, when you become a member. Okay, don't put it in the general channel. Put it in the member chat. All right. All right. That's it. Happy trading, everybody. God bless everybody. We'll talk to you all real soon again next time.